Namaskaram, Assalamu alaikum, and good evening, everyone. I'm Altaf Mohammed, and we have a very special guest joining us today. Ms. Pragati Rajesh, who's a researcher, co-editor of the Modern Medicine magazine, a professional dancer, and the winner of the Varkey Scholarship. Is there anything else you could tell us about yourself and your background?
Hello everyone. I'm Pragati, and like Altaf just mentioned, I'm a professional dancer along with being a researcher at the New York Academy of Sciences. I am also a student editor at the Arizona State University's Ask a Biologist. I'm a medical aspirant and hope to take on a medical profession in another 1 year. I'm currently a grade 12 student at GEMS Modern Academy, and that's all about me.
Wow. So, how did you first hear about the Varkey Scholarship, and what inspired you to apply?
When you talk about the Varkey Scholarship, it is something that is offered in our school, and over 50 students from our school were given the scholarship. This was in lieu of achieving nearly 95% and above in all 6 subjects of the ICSE Indian Certificate of Secondary Education examination program. And once the results were out, we were given the scholarship, and yeah, that's how it works.
Okay. So, can you tell us about a specific experience or project that you've been involved in that you're particularly proud of?
A particular project would be a retrofitting project that I had done in my school for the Innovation Mela and also for Project Prism, which is every year held for grade 11 students. So it was a technological and physics driven electronic plan of building a more safer and environmental friendly car, and it was a brand new bizarre idea that came to our heads, and we were really proud of the whole prototype and how the modeling worked out. So that is definitely one project I'm very proud of. And also in grade 10, I had carried out like a mass food drive in our school where we collected nearly like 3,000 kgs of food for the support staff. And it was given on one of the days of Ramadan. So we felt really glad
Okay.
to have done that.
Great job. That's actually very nice to hear.
Yeah.
So, how do you hope to make a further impact in your field of study or in your community? You already said that you're aspiring to become a medical professional.
Yeah. So it's always been my dream for nearly 7 to 8 years now that I want to build myself towards the career of healthcare, and I want to be a doctor. I aspire to be a gynecologist in particular, just to help with female health and all of that. But I aim to take on my career by pursuing MBBS in either India or Singapore. And I'm a NEET aspirant. I hope to do well in NEET 2024, which
Hopefully.
will be the one I'll be taking. And yeah, that's how I hope to build my career.
So, who are some individuals that you look up to or admire, and why?
A very cliche answer, I think everyone would pull up, but your parents. And there's a particular reason why these two people will be the first people, the first two you know individuals that would come into my head. And the reason is we've been watching our parents kind of model us into what we are right now from the age of 0, and we've seen how they interact with us. We learn our first methods of interaction from our parents, starting with our behavior, the way of speech, our character. It all builds from what we get at home. So it's really important for a person to be holistically developed as an individual of the society. It all starts with your parents, and I would, if anyone would compliment my character or my success or anything, I would owe it all to my parents, because I've grown up with so much support from them. I have always had the freedom to do whatever I aspire to, and it all thanks goes to them. So I really look up to their character, their way of work.
So, Can you tell us about any challenges or obstacles that you've had to overcome in your academic or personal life?
So, like in grade 10, as I had mentioned, I'm a professional dancer, having completed my debut last year in 2022 in June. And the practice for that entire concert was rigorous, and it started from the time I entered grade 10. So, for that whole span of 1 year, I had nearly 3 hours of dance class every single day. And I sacrificed so much time on studies. But it was also a passion of mine because I still dance, and I started dancing at an age of like 4, and it's been part of my life. But the biggest challenge was it was so hard to have balanced the academics as
Yeah,
well as the
must have been
extracurriculars.
really hard.
And I feel, yeah, and I feel it was a great push through, obviously, support from my parents, my family, my friends, to have done, board exams. As an Indian, you would know how board exams,
Yeah, yeah,
how pressurizing they are. Alongside with this pressurizing concert
yeah.
as well, it was really difficult. So that is one challenge that I had to overcome, and I'm definitely very proud of.
What tips would you give for people trying to follow their passion and study well at the same time? Considering that you've already done it.
Well, it's very simple. Do what you love, because when you take out time for your passion, it isn't necessarily an added burden, but it's just
Yeah.
almost a clearance. So whenever, this is how I looked at things, whenever I was getting stressed out of studying a lot, I would either dance or I would take out time to study a subject that I love, which in my case is bio. So that it isn't an added pressure, it isn't an added burden, but it's just something to relieve burden for you. So that's
Oh,
the biggest advice. Just take out time to do what you love the most, and it'll really help.
yeah, passion shouldn't be a burden.
No, yeah, definitely.
So, how do you see the ICSE curriculum helping you to achieve your career goals?
So, in India, we majorly follow the ICSE and the CBSE, and both are very similar with a few differences. And the reason why I weigh out ICSE as a little better for the outside world would be the vastness of the portions. So when you take CBSE and ICSE on an exact thrustable scale, ICSE and CBSE consist and comprise of the exact same number of chapters and exact same topics, but the change is CBSE has more number of content, while ICSE has vaster content of lesser number of topics. So it's always better to know fewer things, but those to the depth, than having a very vague knowledge of things that are not required. So, which is why I feel ICSE really kind of prepares you to go face out the world. More projects and more social work is involved in ICSE under SUPW, which is socially useful productive work. So this kind of equips you to take on, kind of pedagogically is a way of promoting how you're going to outperform in the future. So you know how to solve projects, how to work on team, you know,
Yeah.
everything which is helpful for universities and all of that.
So, finally, any advice you would give to South Asian students specifically? The pressure we have.
Um, South Asians, as kind of generalizing, are
Yeah.
always very particular about their academics. We give more importance to, you know, grades and all of that. But I do see that the world is changing a lot, and even especially, I will speak in the perspective of India, but I try to encompass all of them. We need, we are seeing a change from very stereotypical mindsets that you need to score 95% and above in this, that. It's becoming more concentrated over practical knowledge. And when you see, especially in India, many universities are now becoming kind of blind to competitive exams, which is a very good development, I'll say, because you never know, you can't have a one size fits all kind of theory. You don't know one exam that'll like test you in every single way possible, and each person is different. Each person has their own kind of a way of representing themselves. So it's always good that we're changing into like more portfolio based admissions and all of that. So yeah, the world is changing, but it's always for the good.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. We really appreciate your interest and support towards Learner's Path South Asia, and have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you once again.